I also want to thank my friend, the great American chef, Jose Andres, and his team for help feeding those who are yearning to be free. But helping these refugees is not something Poland or any other nation should carry alone. All the world democracies have a responsibility to help.
During his speech in Poland Saturday, President Biden lauded Chef Jose Andres and his World Central Kitchen team for their Herculean operation, serving more than 200,000 hot meals every single day across multiple European countries as millions of refugees flee the war in Ukraine. The president got a first-hand look at the operation as he visited Ukrainian refugees in Warsaw. Joining me now from Lviv, Ukraine, is Chef Jose Andres, founder of the World Central Kitchen and owner of Think Food Group. Chef Andres, great to see you again. Thank you for coming back to the Sunday Show. You know, you're known for being among the first on the ground after a natural disaster strikes. But this is a war, and you're in Ukraine right now. How are the challenges different in this situation?
Well, World Central Kitchen, we began cooking less than 24 hours after the Russian invasion. But you asked me what the situation is inside Ukraine. Today, I am in Lviv. If I take you down the streets, the churches are full. Some of the cafes have people. Life seems normal until you hear a siren, an alarm, where everybody obviously moves away and tries to go to the safety of a basement or a bunker or whatever they have nearby. So the front line where the war is happening, we know men and women are dying, innocent children are in schools just protecting themselves from shelling, and all of a sudden we've seen the horrors of those schools being hit. And right now, as we speak, in more than 21 cities inside Ukraine and others we are not even aware, we have what I call the food fighters. There's many ways to fight a war. This is men and women that are in their restaurants where they could be already away to the safety of other countries, and that every day they bake bread, every day they make meals, every day they take it to the people in need, especially elderly. Many of them, they've not been able to leave those cities under siege, and somebody has to be taking care of them. Those are the heroes to me of these war, people that are putting everything aside and taking care of every single person. When we get images, and sometimes we do calls or WhatsApps live, in the moment they are telling us about what they are cooking, all of a sudden we need to cancel the conversation because shelling is about to be happening. Places like Kherson, etc. This is the reality we are facing today here inside Ukraine.
Chef Jose, when you've been talking, since you've been on the ground and talking to the refugees, what are they telling you? Give us a sense of what you're seeing.
Well, the situation obviously has changed in the last days. We need to remember the early days. I remember I was 2-3 days after the war began, and I was able to talk myself directly to refugees, getting first idea of what they were going through. The temperature was freezing. We had a woman with 3-4 children walking across the border in places like Korszowa, in places like Medica, some of the two border entries into Poland that they've seen the biggest amount of refugees. Those children will be telling you with almost tears in their eyes, my dad stay behind. They tell you this knowing that they stay behind to defend their country. Almost knowing that maybe they will not see their dads again. We've seen now the situation in Lviv, where we are feeding in more than 90 shelters. So we have a fairly good idea what's going on. And many people don't want to leave Ukraine. Why? Because it's many women that they feel if they go to another country, they are way too far away from their husbands or daughters that are fighting the war. So they prefer stay in Lviv because they feel if anything was going to happen, they are much more closer to their loved ones defending Ukraine.
Chef Jose, one more question for you. You've been on the show a couple times now. We've spoken many times, and you proselytize the power of a hot meal. And in Ukraine and in Poland, we were showing video. It wasn't a hot meal. There were sandwiches being made. But real quickly, talk about the power of a home-cooked meal for people who are in distress.
Yeah, the vast majority of the meals are hot meals. We need to understand sandwiches are the best meal ready to eat, especially when we are feeding in bus stations, in train stations where people, they have to leave within seconds and they need to be taking something with them because the trek can be many hours, if not long days. And so between the sandwiches and the hot meals, obviously, we're able to be covering this. We are also sending a lot of fresh food into Odessa, into many other cities every day through trucks, through buses, and now through trains. We've been able to start working with the railroad of Ukraine, and we are doing a good partnership. What those meals mean? I mean, we're talking seriously in the early days that were people 3, 4, 5 days trying to cross from Ukraine into Poland or into Romania. And sometimes with hundreds of thousands of people living without the systems in place, you could imagine that for some people, well, because they lack money or well, because was no way to be getting a hot meal, all of a sudden you're feeding their children. You are telling them, we are here with you. We are not going to forget you, especially in a cold night with 10 Celsius degrees, minus 10 Celsius degrees. A hot bowl of soup, in a way, was love, was life, was we are going to be next to you until you are able to go back, hopefully safe back home once the peace is achieved. Food at the end is love. And many people are fighting this war the only way they know, which is cooking and making sure that every woman, every elderly, every children is going to be fed through this crisis.
Chef Jose Andres, food is love. Please stay safe there. Thank you for coming back to the Sunday Show.